Are we on? Are we streaming? Are we streaming? Yes. Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. We are on. We are triple streaming as usual. We are streaming on TikTok, we're streaming on YouTube, and we are streaming on X. The crux of this video, guys, Donald Trump has taken control of Washington, D.C. I don't know how they've done it personally with the legal system, but as I understand it, Donald Trump has stood down the police force in Washington, D.C., and he's put them under federal control. I'll come on to that in a minute. We've also got mass evacuations in Alton Towers in the United Kingdom. If you're not from the United Kingdom, Alton Towers is a theme park. Also, the trial of Ricky Jones began today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can read now, I can confirm it, what he said, and as if I couldn't confirm it before. But Sky News is reporting, so this is what Sky News is reporting. Ricky Jones, Labour councillor, told crowd far-right protesters need to have their, I'm not even going to say, guys, their throat. You guys know what he said. The court hears. Now, his defence is that even though he said that, what Ricky Jones is claiming is he didn't really mean it. He's saying, yeah, I know I said that, but I didn't really mean it. Whereas Lucy Conley, she said, I'm pretty sure she said something like, for all I care, they can do whatever. So there you have it, guys. Like two-tier system in the United Kingdom. It seems absolutely bonkers. Look, guys, let me just quickly let me just quickly add something, what not a lot of people are considering. If this guy, Ricky Jones, if he's happy to go out there in front of a camera and say things like that, when there's cameras on him, what is he like behind closed doors? What are his opinions when he's talking to friends and family and he doesn't know that people are listening? And he was a Labour councillor. So what, and I don't know the answer to this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know the answer to this. I'm putting it out there. How do you think he would have reacted if a person of a certain ethnicity came in and asked for a house and a person of another ethnicity came in and asked for a house? Do you think he would have looked at them evenly and said, all right, well, I'll judge you both on merit? Or do you think he would have chose a different metric? I don't know, guys. That question is out there. And Ricky Jones is the only one that we know of. How many more councillors are like this in London, all over the country? Excuse me. Right, well, we'll start with the start, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump has seized control of the, well, I'll just play this video, actually.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor.
Yeah, what is it?
And worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital
I'm on
back.
thing now. Just let them, yeah.
Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act.
You know it's business when Section 740 gets invoked, guys.
Know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it.
So there we are, guys. Donald Trump, as I understand it, listen, guys, if there's anyone here if there's anyone listening from America and I'm getting anything wrong, please correct me, guys, all right? If there's anyone out there and they know how the US system works better than me, please correct me, guys, all right? I'm not meaning to give any false information here. This is as I understand it. So as I understand it, Washington, D.C., has become overrun with crime, not dissimilar, I would speculate, to London. And Donald Trump's come in and he said, right, all the police are now under federal control. So the police force in Washington, D.C. now are under federal control. So they're under the federal government, and they're bringing in the National Guard. So they're bringing in military. Now, here we go, guys. This is exactly what happens in the crisis phase. You push and push and push and push and push and push something until it's so bad, people are just screaming out for somebody to come and help them. And however crazy that help seems, people will go for it. This is part of subversion, you know, and this is what I believe is coming to the United Kingdom some point round about 2030. Donald Trump will get up there and he'll say, we've had a lot of calls from people in the United Kingdom and they really need our help there. So we're going to send in the biggest task force the world has ever seen. They're going to go out there. They're going to start in London. And they're going to clean up London. They're going to do a great job with it. Little Siddiqui, he's going to be gone. We're going to get some great guys in there. And the people of London, you guys can be a great town again. You guys can be a great city, #1 city in Europe. Like, and that is how subversion works, guys. So all this stuff that's happening now, I believe, is leading up until that. But that's, you know, that's in like, I think that's going to happen around about 2030. But we've got plenty to be getting on with. Right, Alton Towers has been evacuated, guys. I genuinely do not know what this story is, but there's been a mass evacuation in Alton Towers. I'm just going to read this in real time if it ever comes up. Let me refresh that screen. Well, I might read it if it ever comes up. Maybe it's gone down. I don't know. Right, the screen is not refreshing. Desert is saying it was a fire. Right, I'm going to jump on to right. Do we wait? Right, I'm just going to leave that. And I'll come back onto it in a minute. Face of Change is saying the people living there say crimes low year on here. Say crimes low year on year here. So scary. I think what Face of Change means there is people who live in, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think what Face of Change is saying there is people who live in Washington are saying the crime is low compared to London. Look, guys, I didn't actually realize how bad London was for crime until I saw those, like, you know, those, they've got blue markers now on the on the paveway now in London, and it says if you stand this side of this paveway, you might get your phone stolen. So stand this side. Like, why not go after the criminals? Literally, why not go after the criminals instead of telling people not to? It's insane. You know, it's only going out one way. James is saying, I think Trump has walked into a nightmare with Putin and Zelensky, so US look away. Yeah, it's a very difficult situation with how to deal with this, because ultimately, you know, the Ukrainians are the only ones who can agree a peace deal. Right, the screen has finally refreshed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to read this. I don't know what it is. I've been told it's fire. I don't know. Alton Towers area evacuated as guests told to leave. Visitors were urged to leave the Forbidden Valley. I'm not making it up, guys. You must leave the Forbidden Valley. Sorry, guys. I hope nobody's injured. Visitors were told to leave I mean, was there... I can't help myself, guys. I can't help myself. Was there a guy there in a big, long cloak and a beard and a hat saying, you must leave the Forbidden Valley and never return? Anyway, visitors were urged to leave the Forbidden Valley area of the theme park following the incident. But what was the incident? An area of the Alton Towers was reportedly evacuated, according to confused as hell guests who were urged to leave the area on Monday, today, August 11th. Picture shows large crowds leaving within the UK's largest theme park, with others claiming it was the Forbidden Valley that was temporarily shut down. One person on X says, I'm confused as hell. I hope nothing too serious has happened. Another pen, yo, anyone at Alton Towers explain what's going on in the Forbidden Valley since staff seem to be blocking access to it and the rides are closed? What is it? Somebody tell me what it was. Screenshots from, it doesn't tell you what, I don't think they're going to tell us what it is, guys. Oh, right, okay. Alton Towers later confirmed a fire was found in the toilet facility in the Forbidden Valley area. There was a temporary evacuation put in place while the incident was dealt with. Right, okay. So now I understand. Right, so these little fires... Yeah, the chat told me before. The chat told me before I read it. So these little fires, guys, because of the word beginning with T and ending in ist, because of those guys, little fire, you have to deal with it totally different. Like in the 90s, the fire attendant would have just gone in and patted it out. Now they have to take precautions because they don't know what that is. That could have been a device that's not gone off properly. That could be the first device of multiple devices and people running around with sharp pointy things. So that's why they have to deal with it differently. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, guys, but have you noticed why in, what's the word? What's the word for a mall in the UK? What's the word for a mall? What do we have in the UK? Shopping centres? Is it Yeah, shopping centres. So in shopping centres in the UK, have you guys noticed how there's no bins? Have you noticed that? There's no bins. You're walking around with like some chewing gum wrapper or something. You're like, where's all the bins gone? They don't have bins. And that is to stop that threat of somebody putting something in the bin. Anyway, guys, right, let me jump over and get these comments. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go from the top again. Donald Trump takes control of Washington, D.C., mass evacuations in the United Kingdom. Although now I guess I've put that, I guess the headline should really be the trial of Ricky Jones begins. Remember, guys, Ricky Jones, he said and Grok's down as well. Grok stops working. Right, let me jump up and get these comments, guys. Listen, the chat is open, and I do apologize if I'm missing anyone's comments. James, I can't repeat that comment. That's far too diverse, even for my channel. James is saying 200 locals are policing the streets in Bournemouth. Council and police aren't happy. Right, let me get this. This is phenomenal. But look, guys, what did I say would happen? I said people will take these things into their own... Okay, so is this what we're talking about? So there's uniformed patrols in Bournemouth. Are we really there now? Have we got there already? So I'm reading this now, guys. Volunteers have set up a uniformed force. Wow. Absolutely wow. This is absolutely bonkers, guys. This is bonkers. So I'm just going to read this. Thank you for putting me onto this. Volunteers, just conceptualize this for a moment, guys, all right? Conceptualize where this leads. Right now, we're going to talk about where this is going to lead. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, the collapse hasn't begun. The collapse is here. This is the first footstep into a Mad Max dystopian world. It really is, guys. Volunteers in Bournemouth have set up a uniformed force to patrol the streets in a bid to keep communities safe in Bournemouth. Safeguard Force. I mean, look, that name is fantastic. Safeguard Force. I'm a colonel in Safeguard Force. Whose volunteers will wear branded bibs, has said it aims to create safer, more supportive communities by providing visible, compassionate and non-confrontational patrols, which are set to start on Monday, the 11th of August. So it started, guys. The collapse has started. Dorset Police has said the group was not endorsed by the force, but it is engaging with them to ensure they operate within the law. So basically, right, if you want to create your own police force, the police are fine with that. So like, oh yeah, please do. What? Yeah, we can't get that. I know you pay your taxes, but we spend all this on like rainbow signs and stuff. So after you've paid your taxes, do you mind driving around the streets and making sure nobody's got them sharp pointy things? Like, do you mind? Like, that's where we are. But look, guys, this is where this is going to progress. This is terrifying. And it's, hear me out when I say it's terrifying. It is a good idea, but it's only a good idea as long as it's a good idea. What do I mean by that? Very soon, this will change to, okay, so the precedent's open now in Bournemouth. People are patrolling the streets in Bournemouth. They're not endorsed by the police, but they're working with the police. What happens when the Muslims want to have a Sharia patrol in a part of London because they don't want you to drink alcohol in that part of London? You see where we're going now, guys? You see how the segregation starts? And this is how it's starting right now, guys, all right? It started. Segregation started today, Monday the 11th, because then where do other groups will form? Other groups will come together, and then there'll be, there'll be all sorts of different groups with their own different police forces. It's bonkers, guys. The fact that these guys are uniformed as well. Bright Eyes, hello, Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes is saying, being loads of attacks on women. They're because of migrant hotels and police are doing nothing. Yeah, so let me pin this actually. Yeah, so Bright Eyes, I'm not saying there's any... What's your real name? I can't call you Bright Eyes. So what I'm saying is where this leads to. Of course, we need to deal with the root cause of the problem. And the root cause of the problem is these young men coming over on the boats. That's the root cause, like everything else was condiments. It's like we're trying to make a dinner, but we're getting all the wrong ingredients. So that should be the main intent. You can close the hotels down afterwards. The main intent, the main event should be to try and stop the crossings. Try and stop the inflow. Once the inflow is stopped, then you want to look at getting these hotels closed. Apart from that, guys, you're just addressing the symptoms rather than the root cause. Right, let me... But you can see with this where it goes, look, and then Grumbling Grunts, exactly. Grumbling Grunts are saying it's like having the Afghan uniformed police and Afghan local police. Yeah, so like, where does this end? Where does this end, guys? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining me for the first time, please hit that follow button, the like, subscribe, share, bell notification. We're triple streaming. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on TikTok. I am going to close this TikTok down at... what I normally do, I will close TikTok down first, and then I will continue streaming on YouTube and X. Now, the reason I have to do that is because I get so many live streams banned. I mean, I get them, I've probably been banned. I may even be talking into space right now. No, I'm not banned at the moment, and I'm not restricted. So you can see how, we need cross-platform pollination, I guess. Cross-platform pollination. Tina Elliott is saying, hi, Sean. Hi, all. Hi to you, Tina Elliott. Right, I'm going to jump over to YouTube, guys. Philip Gray is saying, I'm fed up. I've got 4 kids. It's every day, more boats. I mean, my missus got attacked for her phone the other day. So this is where we're going to head to, guys. This is really where we're going to head to. We're going to head into that situation, I believe, in the United Kingdom where things are so bad, the people are just going to be screaming out for someone to come in and make it stop, like Washington, D.C. And I do think Washington, D.C. is a good canary in the coal mine. Right, guys, let me just pour myself a lemonade. And it is lemonade. It's lemon and lime lemonade. But every time I drink on TikTok, I get the live restricted. But it's so hot today, guys. It is absolutely. I'm here in the extension, and I really did insulate these walls, and it is really hot. Oh, right. Let's continue. Right, Fish Bells is saying, have you heard about the shield being set up by Hell's Angels? I did a few videos about these guys. Like this company, the Shield. Like, where have they gone? Like, where have they gone? You know how they was, look, guys, and let me just be clear. Like anything in life, right? The solutions to your problems, they're within, ladies and gentlemen. The answers you seek come from within, all right? Yeah? Oh, the answers you seek come from within. And, you know, trying to outsource and donate to some guy because he's got tattoos on his face and he claims to be and he rides a motorbike, it's absurd, guys. It's real. It's just, to me, look, guys, and I need to be clear. I don't know where these guys have gone. I don't know where these guys have gone. I do know that they seem to have vanished. You know, these people called the Shield, they were asking for your money, asking for donations. They got their little webpage set up, and they vanished. So where's all the money gone? Where's all those £50 donations gone? I don't know. Have they took the money and run? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I hope they're planning something, but, you know, if we're talking about the United Kingdom, and I know most of my followers are, if we're talking about the United Kingdom, the sheer numbers we're talking about here, guys, to provide security, it's not possible. It's not possible. We're talking. It's not going to be a case of we can send 50 guys there to sort a problem out. We're talking about millions of people. Literally yesterday, Nigel Farage posted a video with young gentlemen on their way over from France, and the caption said something like Iraqi spear. The spear of the Iraq. Look, guys, I'm not. I don't think I can get this 100%, but the caption said something like the spear of the Iraqi army. No, the spear of the Iraqi militia on its way in the Great British Waters or something. Basically, telling people that this is the Iraqi militia on its way to the United Kingdom. Like, they're not even hiding it. You know, they're not even hiding it. It wouldn't surprise me if somewhere in, like, I don't know, Har Hills or some place in, that's been made. Somewhere in, like, I don't know, in the Cotswolds. If somewhere in the Cotswolds there was, like, one of these training camps set up, and we're like, oh, you know what? We've been looking for these overseas. We didn't actually think one would be set up in the UK. And they're all like, you know what guys, have you all seen these training camps where they're all jumping through the hoops that are set on fire? I love those training videos, guys. I think, right, okay, what scenario, and they've got all this music playing in the background. I always think, like, what scenario, right? What scenario have you got where the likely option is you've got to jump through a burning ring? Like, when does that thing, like, listen, guys, I've done quite a lot of combat operations, and I can guarantee I've never jumped through a burning ring. I've never jumped through a burning ring. I've done a lot of other stuff, but I've never jumped through a burning ring. I don't know. Maybe it's just something I missed. Right, let me jump down, guys. Loads of comments this evening. Jay Pucci is saying they're not when they say to people, we're here to take the UK. Linda Lewis saying there's a video going around of a migrant training camp somewhere in... No. Linda Lou, are you winding me up? Right, Linda, let's clarify. Linda Lou is saying there's a migrant training camp somewhere up north or in Yorkshire. What do you mean by, like, a migrant training camp? And what are they training? Are they training, like, what are they training, basically? Because, like, I don't know where we go with that. That could be like really terrifying, or it could be like quite benign, I guess. Right. All right. Paul Africa Twin on YouTube is saying our successive governments have left behind the British the British public in mortal danger. Our politicians need to change before it's too late for democracy. I would say something different to that, guys. I would agree with it. What I would say is the political system needs to change, because the euphemism I give is like we're all trying to vote for. Imagine you're in a car and you've got 4 flat tires, and you're all sat there and you're like, oh, we need to get a Ford Pinto engine, and like, no, the Pinto broke. That was the first engine we had. And you're like, right, okay, right. We need a Mitsubishi engine, and they're like, oh yeah, let's get the Mitsubishi engine, and you get the Mitsubishi engine in, and like the car still won't go anywhere. It's broke. Right, next time we're gonna get a Toyota VVTi engine, and then you put the Toyota VVTi engine in, and the car still doesn't go because the political system is broken. Changing the engine, the gearbox, it's not going to matter until we can change the political system. That is when, that's when we'll have real change. Until then, we're just going to vote for, we're just going to be voting for people who are under the same, we're just going to be voting for the same people. Sorry, we're going to be voting for different people working under the same system. John Giles is saying, look at Gaddafi's speech to the UN. It was his last one. Yeah, it was. And then Philip Gray is saying, in fact, Chris White, I'll come on to Chris White's comment next. Philip Gray is saying, I mean, what are we going to tell our children? Think about 20 years down the line at the current rate, we'll be the minority. It's disgraceful. I saw a video today of some woman, I believe it was a woman. I didn't see her. It sounded like a woman's voice. She was talking to a police officer. And she said to the police officer, she said, I think she said exactly that. In 20 years' time, when everything's gone south, what are you, and this is, I think this is more poignant to police officers. And this woman said, in 20 years' time, when this has all gone south, what are you going to tell your kids you did? Like, are you going to tell your grandkids you was on the side of the government when everything's collapsed and you was helping, helping the government on this? And it was a really poignant. It was really poignant. Chris White is saying Old Testament time. I think we are going to be having, sword and sandals battles in the UK. Sorry. And then Matt over on YouTube is saying, if my dad lived through similar times as we are, and he did time inside for trying to save the country, I'd be so proud of him. Oh, listen, guys, I wouldn't recommend anybody break the law. Nobody break the law. Okay. I'm certainly not condoning that. It brings me back to what I always like this. Oh, hang on. Just quickly, brings me back to the scenario I was talking about before. At what point are normal people? And do you know what? I think we've actually answered that question. I think it's happened today. So I normally say, at what point do normal people, unify? Or there's some strange noises out there, guys. At what point do normal people unify and come together? And I guess we've seen that today, haven't we, in Bournemouth? So Bournemouth today, guys, if you guys don't know, Bournemouth have had the first street patrols in Bournemouth of a uniformed, and the only way I can describe this, guys, is a vigilante group. That's the only way I can describe it. Vigilantes are patrolling the streets in Bournemouth. I mean, do you reckon they had dibs on Batman? I bet you, I hope, I want to think that somebody behind the scenes, they were sat there and there was like, listen, we're going to wear uniforms. Can we have like Batman uniforms? I hope, I want to believe somebody said that. Hang on. Hang on. Right. Right, Vin, right, okay, sorry. Vin Diesel is saying, I'll be telling mine, we are men, lost our nation, we are from nowhere now, because that's the reality. Oh, listen, I think all people need is a spark. But I don't know where or when that spark will come. It can come in the strangest... your inspirational spark can come in such strange, it can come in such strange places, strange things. But inspirational sparks do often happen when they're needed. Right, guys, listen, I don't know it right. Cosmic is saying, and I'm not claiming this is untrue, but Cosmic is saying, these training camps are all over the country. Are we being serious, guys? Like, and guys, can somebody just give me more information? Can somebody just give me more information on migrant training camps in the UK? Like, can somebody please give me more information? Listen, guys, if you're just joining for the first time, we are triple streaming. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on X. We are streaming on TikTok. Please show your support on all platforms, because very soon on the TikTok, I'll be closing it down and we will just be streaming on YouTube and X. And if you've not done so already, guys, please hit those buttons. The buttons up here somewhere, if you're on TikTok, maybe, I don't know, the follow buttons. If you're watching on YouTube, the buttons are down there. Really helps me out, guys, when you do that. And the biggest thing that you can do, please, 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 is share the live, because the algorithm loves it when you share the live. Right, let me jump down, guys. There's so many comments. Four Paws is saying, Sean, Basil the Great, hang on. Basil the Great, but so Four Paws is saying, Sean, Basil the Great posted on X jihadi training camps in Herefordshire. I've been to some training camps in Hereford, guys, but right, let me get this up. I'm going to have to get this up. Right, and Grok has stopped working. Wow. I'm just, guys, listen, I'm going to play, ladies and gentlemen, so I've just, Four Paws has just put me onto this. I will share this with you guys in, when we go over to YouTube. I've not watched this video, guys. I'm just going to play this, and I'm watching it for the first time. I'm going to be honest, guys. It doesn't really look like. Oh, right. So that's in the Peak District. I don't know where it is. So from what I've seen there, guys, that doesn't really. It just looks like a little getaway where guys get away and they do like rugby and do a bit of wrestling. I don't think that's like a spiritual, I don't think that's a jihadi training camp in the UK. I don't think that at all. Obviously, I don't know what they're being taught and what's going on behind the scenes, but certainly from that promotional video, I wouldn't say that's anything, like that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the breaking news of the day. Donald Trump has seized control of Washington, D.C. If there's any Americans watching, please correct me if I'm wrong. But as I understand it, Donald Trump has brought in the National Guard to take over policing of Washington, D.C. Guys, that is an absolutely huge move. So what you can imagine now is a similar, if you think about London, if you think about how bad London is getting right now, you could quite easily, envisage a situation where the military have to be brought into London, because look, the crime rates in London, they're just going up and up and up, guys. They are just going up and up and up. And, if we want to look over and look how things get dealt with, we're going to see, and I think this could be a precursor to the United States coming over to the United Kingdom round about 2030. I really do, guys. I think that could be the, and Ash is saying, that's correct. I'm in the US. Thank you, Ash, for setting me straight. Guys, listen, I don't claim to be an expert in US policy and US politics. I never claim to be an expert in British politics. But as I understand it, the federal government have now taken over control of the police force in Washington, D.C., and they're having a crackdown on crime. We're going to have to see how this pans out. I think we're going to come to that the old saying: everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster stuff. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, I'm going to close this down now on. I'm going to close this down now on TikTok. I'm going to close this down now on TikTok, but we will be continuing. We will continue the live stream over on YouTube, guys. So if you guys want to go and show your support there, I would really appreciate that. And if not, that's absolutely fine. Hopefully I'll be back on in the morning. Guys, can you hit the buttons, like, comment, subscribe, all those buttons that help this channel grow? We're going to continue now over on YouTube. Oh, just before we go quickly, JTTJ is saying, dread the London Notting Hill Carnival, few weeks time. Yeah, Notting Hill, guys, Notting Hill Carnival. Can you imagine if that was can you imagine if Notting Hill Carnival was a Protect Our Kids rally, was a Protect Our Kids march? It will be banned. It will be banned. The word I'm going to use, if I'm not going to use it, I'm going to wait till we jump over to YouTube. So anyway, guys, I'll see you later. And if you were going to jump over to YouTube, I'll see you there. And we are on, ladies and gentlemen, we are on, streaming on YouTube. So the word I was going to use is debauchery. Absolute debauchery, guys, in absolute debauchery in Notting Hill Carnival. Let me just pour myself another lemonade. It is lemonade. So the Notting Hill Carnival, like, when you see images of the things happening in the Notting Hill Carnival, and you think, how is this like, first of all, you think, how is it? Your initial reaction is, how is this thing happening? And then your second reaction is, why are they doing it? Like, why are those men and women dancing like that with each other? Like, it's, to me anyway, it's sickening. It's sickening. I look at that and I think, are we celebrating this? Because I don't want it. Like, if I was the almighty and all powerful, I would just say, you want to dance like that on the streets? You want to defecate in people's doorways? There's a plane. Off you go. Just go. Just go. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. But that was obviously a remark to the people that are ruining it for everyone else. Matt is saying, if any high visibility kidnappers are here, please have a double think where the country is heading towards due to all this untrust, two-tier nonsense. Yeah, lots of two-tierness at the moment, guys. Lots of two-tierness. What do we think? Do we think Ricky Jones is ever going to spend a moment in a prison cell, or do we think the Manchester Two? You know, the Manchester Two. Do we think those guys? Do we think the Manchester Two are ever going? Like, guys, listen. I don't know if you know or not. In fact, let me take that down. I don't know if you guys know or not, but the Manchester Two, you know, the two gentlemen who had fisticuffs, well, I guess we can say it's not allegedly now. So the two gentlemen who had fisticuffs in Manchester Airport, they're looking like having a retrial in April next year. These guys are never going to see the inside of a prison cell. They're never going to see the inside of a prison cell. It's going to be dragged on and technicality after technicality. And then when it finally comes to sentencing, the judge is going to say, look, you guys have had a hard enough time as it is. You've waited for your trial a year, then you had to wait like X months for a retrial, and all that time you've had anxiety. You guys have been suffering. So do you know what? Suspended sentence for you guys. Go on, off you go. Off you go. Guys, as sure as eggs, those two gentlemen are never going to see the inside of a prison cell. I can pretty much, anyway, that is my speculation, my analysis, and my opinion. It's just going to get dragged out until everybody's forgot, and then suspended sentence. And you go, what? Suspended sentence? Don't worry, we're at war. We're at war with the Russians. All right, war with the Russians. That's what's coming, guys. AG Aesthetics is saying Tommy Robinson's latest interviews will really blow up. 24 hours ago, posted on 1 million views. He talks so much sense. He will win over a lot of new supporters from these interviews. I've not seen them. And then Ricky Hardman is saying that was definitely, oh, right, okay, well, but it wasn't vodka. It's that, I don't know where it's from. It's like zero sugar, lemon and lime. Yeah, that's why, guys, I don't drink. I'm literally on zero sugar, lemon and lime. Yeah, and then Richard Hickman, again, he's saying they are just buying time. Yeah, they're absolutely buying time. Right, guys, I'm going to play. In fact, we'll share it. In fact, what were we going to do? Right, let me show you this training camp, and let me know what you guys think, okay? Do you guys think, I don't, I'll be quite clear, do we think that this is a training camp? What's his name? Basil? Right, we'll get this on the share screen. Right, so we're going to watch this together, guys, and I want you guys to give me your honest opinion. Do you think that this is a training camp? And I'll throw my verdict out there already because it's out there. I don't think it is. Oh my God.
Different images and thoughts.
So what do we think? Do we think that's a training camp? Does that look like... Look, guys, maybe I'm just being biased because I've been to a lot of training camps and I know what a training camp should look like. I don't know. Maybe that is true. Maybe that... I mean, listen, I've seen the state of the armies in the Middle East, so maybe that is a training camp. I don't know. It's not a very good one if it is a training camp. They're not really doing much. They're not really... Again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, guys. That is only the glossy... That's the the outside. So I don't know what they're actually talking about and what they're teaching them. But it doesn't look like a training camp to me. It just looks like a load of guys coming together. What I would ask is, where's the funding for that come from, and how long are these things going to last? Because you get these all the time. You get people trying. You get philanthropists set these up, and they want to start some sort of training camp in the woods, and they want men to go there and learn. And I don't know, maybe these people watch Robin Hood too many times. But the bells. I'm not convinced that this is a training camp. The real training camps will be places that you can use explosives, places that you can use drones, places that you can jump through hoops made of fire. In fact, I guess those guys could jump through. Those guys could jump through hoops of fire as well. Right. Also, guys, Richard Hickman again is saying, if you're going to do it, then hiding it in plain sight would make sense. Yeah, I agree. But from what I've seen, I don't really think it's much of a. Oh, a lot of people think it is. Okay, well, it could be a training camp. I would say it's not a very competent one. Where's the tactics? Where's the actual training facility? Because I didn't see a training facility there, guys. I saw a field. That's what we saw. We saw field and classrooms. Where's the where's the cars? Where's the cars, vehicles? Where's the consumables that you're going to need to use? Where's all that stuff? But anyway, we'll just leave it there, guys. We'll leave it. I'm not convinced that is a training camp. Anyway, Donald Trump has taken control of Donald Trump has taken control of Washington, D.C. We'll play the video together, guys. Give me a second. In fact, can I play that video? Let me see if I can play that video. Is that? Maybe this is it. No, that's not it. Give me a second, guys. What news was that? That's Guardian. Oh, there it is. Right, let me just share this with you guys.
Announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C.
It does seem like he could be talking about London. It really does. It does seem like he could be talking about London.
And we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States. I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be.
You see, when people talk about getting new politicians in the UK, what people don't understand is we don't have the system like they have in America. There's no structure in the UK for somebody to come in and say, right, you guys are absolutely useless. We're taking over. There isn't that. We don't have that structure in the UK. So while people think that Farage is going to be come in and wave his magic wand, we don't have that structure. And it's taken hundreds of years to get where we are now. We need a total collapse, and we need to rebuild the system again.
Directly involved with that.
And I would say using the American model.
Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it.
So there you have it, guys. Donald Trump has taken control of Washington, D.C. He's brought his own guys in, and they're having a cleanup. Like, does it not feel like we need that in the United Kingdom? Slim has just said a fish rots from the head. I don't know what that means, but okay. Four Paws is saying men who attacked the guy on the train for being half naked. I knew it, guys. I knew it. Four Paws, thank you for that. Let me just Google this real quick. I'll do it with you guys. Yeah, 3 hours ago from the Telegraph, guys. I'll get this up here. Assault on YouTube flasher under investigation. Police confirm. I'm not going to share this with you because there's a paywall. This is from the Telegraph. I told you this would happen. So for context, those of you guys who don't know, there was images going around of a black guy. He's standing there. He's put his trousers down and he's shouting "fuck off" to everybody. He's just standing there naked with his junk out, and he's shouting to everybody. He's shouting swear words to everyone. There's kids on the train, man. And two gentlemen come up and I think they get him off the train. Those two gentlemen are now being under investigation for assault. So there you have it, guys. Welcome to the United Kingdom. It's totally okay for you to flash yourself in front of children. Totally fine. Totally fine. But if you try and stop that flasher, that's assault. That's racially aggravated assault. That's what's coming, guys. That's what's coming. And we talk about it. We say we don't have a two-tier system. Like, can you believe can you guys, like, can you just like put that in your head for 1 second? Which brings us back to remember what I said. Remember the scenario I gave you guys where at what point are we allowed to take our own security? Like, are we allowed to deal with our own security? I want to deal with it now. Because this will blow up massive, guys, okay? You know, we're looking at a scenario now where there's a dude swinging his schlong around in the middle of the day, shouting swear words, and the kids are watching, and two people said, you know what, I'm not happy with you waving your schlong around. Can you get off? Those two guys they're getting done for assault now. So this is the scenario I gave you guys, and it was a drastic one, I get it. Imagine you live on a street and you live at number 50, all right? It's a cul-de-sac. You live at number 50, so you're quite up in the cul-de-sac. You hear a lot of shouting and commotion, and you look down the street and you see like white Toyota Hilux type vehicles, pickups, with a load of young men with their faces covered, getting out and going into the houses. There's a lot of screaming and shouting, and then everything goes quiet in that house, and then they move on to the next house. So they're at number 2 now, and you're like, I think something's happening down there. So you phone the police up. You manage to get through, and they say, so what can you see? And you say to the police, well, I can see this. And they say, but can you actually confirm a crime's being committed? And you're like, well, no, I can't. And you're like, we'll send an investigating officer around. How long? Well, if you can't confirm there's a crime, well, should I go out? Is it safe to do so? Probably not. Well, just stay in and lock your doors. Like, and they're getting closer and closer and closer. At what point are you allowed to do something? Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. I'll read it again, guys. I'll read it again, ladies and gentlemen. assault on tube flasher under investigation. So for those of you guys who don't know, the gentleman who had his schlong out on the, was it the London Underground? I don't know if it was the London Underground, but the gentleman in London who had his schlong out, the black guy, he was shouting fuck off to everyone. He was standing there with his junk out. Two gentlemen, I think two or maybe three gentlemen, got him off the train. Those guys are now being investigated by the police. There we have it, guys. There we have it. Totally okay to do the crime, but if you stop the crime, that's the crime. So right now, in lawless Britain, doing a crime is not illegal. But if you try and stop the crime, that's illegal. Well, how can it be illegal if the crime's not illegal? Ah, that's double speak, sir. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what? Yeah, I just give up, guys. Honestly, I don't know. I just want to lock my gates, pick my blackberries, and make wine. That's all I want to do, guys. That's all I want to do. Helen MG is saying selective labeling. What do we mean by selective labeling, Helen? Can you elaborate on that, Helen? I don't know. Give context on that. I don't know what that means. Laurie Hill is saying, why do the government want to do this where they lock up decent people and leave the rapists on the street? It's crazy, but why? I just don't get it. It's to cause the panic. It's part of subversion, guys. It's all part of subversion, ideological subversion. All part of ideological subversion. I've done lots and lots of talks about ideological subversion and how if you know what to look for, you can see it. And this is all part of ideological subversion. I'm not going to go into it now, guys, because it goes. I'm not going to go into it because it does. I lose a lot of. When I'm talking about ideological subversion, I can see the view count going down, 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 and down. So I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it. Philip is saying the anger is beginning to get out of control. Yeah, again, this is part of the ideological subversion. Brantox FXD is saying, I noticed on the newspaper they blanked out the face of the flasher, but not the guys who got him off the train. Yeah, it's crackers, isn't it? So you got this black guy with a skinhead standing on a train. He's got his schlong out and he's telling people to fuck off. I mean, that might be normal. Whatever country he's from, that might be normal. And, you know, his defense may be that nobody told him when he came to the UK that you're not allowed to do that, which is totally fine. I mean, I get that. Maybe, you know, which brings us back to trust in societies. And if you have a high trust society, people work for each other. If you have a low trust society, people don't work for each other, which is where we're headed at the moment. But yeah, the face of the gentleman who had his reproductive organs on show, his face was pixelated, so was his schlong. I mean, I don't know why they're pixelated. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it was really big or really small. I don't know. But yeah, he was pixelated, but the other two guys weren't. James Brook is saying, policing today isn't about saving or protecting people. It's about turning up afterwards and following a Marxist agenda led by the government. The police have to have consent of the people. It's slipping away. Yeah, it really is slipping away. I mean, we saw this in Manchester Airport, didn't we? Where the two gentlemen who attacked another gentleman did not give consent to themselves being arrested. So they had fisticuffs. Lisa Jane is saying, yes, they blanked his face because his mental health and modesty, if you want to call it that. I mean, yeah, we're just in crazy times, guys. We're in crazy times. Christine Chambers is saying, Irons saw him on Twitter. I don't know what that means, Christine. Anna saw him on. I don't know what that means. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the big updates again. Donald Trump's taken control of Washington D.C. He's going to root out all the bad eggs. He's going to bring in the National Guard, and they're going to bring law and order to Washington D.C. Trust me, guys. All right, these big, these like crime lords and these big gangsters and stuff. Like, when the military come in and start to close these cells down, they don't want to play. They do not want to play. These like gangsters and stuff, they're really good at being gangsters when there's no threat. But as soon as 4 guys kick that door down, and these 4 guys that come in, they've been training since they were like 8 years old to be the fittest, strongest, fastest that any human can be. They're rolling with the most sophisticated firearms that the world's ever seen. They've got night vision, smoke grenades, pistol suppressors, all sorts of crazy stuff. Your little gangster with his M4, thinking he's big time, or his Desert Eagle. He'll go from big dick to little dick real quick. And as soon as you start taking the ringleaders out, the little guys, they don't want to know. They run. They're scared. Oh, I don't want to be a gangster anymore. I'm not a gangster. I'm going to get a job in Walmart. So I would speculate they can bring this gang violence down pretty quick if they know where the cells are. If they can. If they can, and I'm sure they've done it already, if they can infiltrate them. Let me close that one down. What else have we got? We've got the trial of Ricky Jones, ladies and gentlemen. So the trial of Ricky Jones started today. His defense, he is claiming that, yes, he admits he said those words, but what he's saying is he didn't mean it. He's saying, I said those words, but I wasn't trying to incite violence. Let's just consider that I need to be the right one. Lucy Conley got sentenced, and what she said was, I don't care, or, she said, I don't care if you do something, or you can do whatever you want for me. I can't remember what she said exactly, but it wasn't cut their throats and let's get rid of them. It certainly wasn't that. It was, you can do it for all I care. So, it's just that we're in a fantastic situation in the United Kingdom. Absolutely unbelievable. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this one down now. I've got a lot of people watching. Guys, listen, if you've not done so already, hit that bell notification, the like, comment, subscribe, those buttons down there that really help me out when the algorithm's looking who to pump and dump. But anyway, guys, I will see you tomorrow.